share with you. And then after that, what I'd like to do is open this up for a testimony service. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Let us pray. Father, I want to thank you for just being a God who sits high and looks low. I want to thank you for being a God that said, lo, I am with you always. I want to thank you for telling your children that you'll never leave us nor forsake us. I cannot thank you enough for who you are and for what you have already done. I pray that you will give me a word today to share with your people and that will bless them so much that they can bless somebody else with. Let the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart may be acceptable in your sight. For you are my strength and my redeemer. It's in the mighty name of Jesus I pray that every heart say amen. 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 I want you to turn to John chapter 16 in your Bibles, please. I'm going to read verse 28 through 33. John's Gospel, chapter 16. I just want you to see this when I read this. Verse 28 through 33. John, the disciple that Jesus loved, the only disciple that was not martyred. John, chapter 16, verse 28 through 33. I'm going to be reading in the King James Version. When you get there, please say amen. 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 If you need me to wait, simply say wait. I can do that. John chapter 16, verse 28 through 33. And it reads, I came forth from the Father and am coming to the world again. I leave the world and go to the Father. His disciples said unto him, Lo, now speaketh thou plainly, and speaketh no proverbs. Now are we sure that thou knowest all things, and needest not that any man should ask thee. By this we believe that thou camest forth from God. Verse 31. Jesus answered them, Do you now believe? 33. Behold, the hour cometh, yea, is now come, that ye shall be scattered, every man to his own, and shall leave me alone, and yet am not alone, because the Father is with me. Verse 33. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. You may take your seats. The Lord have a blessing for reading, hearing, and doing of his holy word. I want to share something with you today, and I'd like to ask you a question, because when I ask the question prompts a thought. It gets you thinking about something. And the question is a statement, and the statement is, are you walking in good news or bad news? I want you to think about that. Are you walking in, which means are you operating in the good news, or are you operating in some bad news? Jesus was talking to his disciples here, and he was letting them know, hey, listen, I've got to go back to my Father after I'm crucified. But they were all upset with Jesus. That's bad news. I don't want to hear those bad news, Jesus. I just want to hear the good news. Jesus was saying to them, hey, listen, I have got to come and do my assignment. When my assignment is over, I've got to go back to the Father. But I want you to be of good cheer. I told you this thing so that in me you'll have some peace. I'm not going to leave you comfortless. I'm going to leave you with another comforter. And he says to us, listen, just because you don't see me don't mean I ain't working for you.
Yes.
I want you to know that, yes, in life you're going to have some tribulations. You're going to have some trials. You're going to have some problems. You're going to have some challenges. But be of good cheer. Don't lose it. I'm with you. So he began to talk to them, and they never could get it. I want to tell you a little quick story. Maybe this will help you a little bit. Good news and bad news is concerning two brothers, as the story goes. This is a story, it's not real. This is a story. So two brothers, they used to love playing baseball together, as the story goes. And they played baseball together in their teen years all the way up until they became old men. The story says they were in their late 70s or 80s when one of them died. And the brother that was left, he said, man, I'd give anything to ask my brother if there's baseball in heaven. He's prayed, Lord, let my brother come back and let me know if there's baseball in heaven. I want to know that. So as the story goes, one night, he saw a vision of his brother. And he said, oh, John, what, you here? He said, I'm only here for a while. God sent me here to answer some question you had. What is it? He said, well, oh my gosh, it's good to see, good to see. I want to know, oh yes, great, this is good. Is there baseball in heaven? He says, well, I got some good news and I got some bad news. He said, well, tell me the good news first. He said, the good news is that yes, there's baseball in heaven. The bad news is that you pitching tomorrow. Anyway. So, in life you have some good news and you also have some bad news. Now, let me just share with you real quickly. You know, when we talk about the man Job, the bad news for Job was that God allowed the enemy to attack him. But the good news was that God was with Job and the devil couldn't kill him. Yeah. When you think about David, who was 5'7", he was 17 years old. The bad news is that he had to come up against a giant named Goliath, who was 9'9". But the good news was that God was with him. Amen? When you think about a man named Samson, Samson was attacked by 1,000 Philistines. The bad news was that the Philistine army attacked Samson. The good news was that God was with Samson and gave him the jawbone of a donkey to defend himself with. The bad news was that the children of Israel, when they were released from slavery after 430 years to the day, the bad news was that there they were backed up to the Red Sea, and yet they could see Pharaoh's army coming to kill them. That's the bad news. But the good news was that God was with them. The bad news for some of us in here is that we got money problems, the bad news. That we got job problems, the bad news. We got relationship problems, that's the bad news. Or we got sickness in our body, that's the bad news. But the good news is that God is with us. So are you living in the good news of what God is saying? Are you living in the bad news of what the world is saying? Amen. Amen? Amen. Now listen at me now. Proverbs 30:5 say, weeping may endure for a night. That's the bad news. But the good news is that in the morning. Come on, somebody. Help me now. Help me now. Are you with me with that? Now listen, when Paul was talking, he said in 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, so let me just say something to you. See, we got to think about this now. Either you're going to live in the bad news of the world, or you're going to live in the good news of the world. You got to choose. Which one are you going to live in? So, Paul began to say in 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, he said, listen, there is no temptation or trial or problem or situation that has come upon you that's not common to me. He said, now that's the bad news. Ain't nothing bad news. Well, yeah, I'm going through money problems. Somebody else done had that. Well, he said, I got cancer. Somebody else done had that. Well, I done broke my leg. Somebody else done had that. I done lost a house, lost a job. Hey, somebody else done had that. There's nothing that you're going through that somebody else say, well, you don't know what is going through that. That's the bad news. But the good news is, but God is faithful. Yeah. He's not allowed you to be tempted or pride above that which you are able. The old saint said he will not put up more on you than you can bear. He ain't gonna do it. So if there's something on you, obviously, you can bear. But you're going to have to choose. Because God is moving us from Broadruffle to 51st and 7th. You're going to have to choose. Spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, and socially, are you going to go? Because I've got some people that say, I'm not sure if I want to go. And now let me just say something to you. We're going to go. Yeah. We're going. I love you, but I can't stay here. Amen. We're going to go. That's right. You understand? See, there were some, when I studied this out, there were some Israelites that didn't want to leave slavery. Yes. They wanted to stay there. Yeah. Sure did. But now, let me ask you something. You're going to have to choose, man. You're going to either choose to live in the good news. The good news, or the bad news is in John 10:10. The thief cometh but to kill, and destroy. That's the bad news. But keep reading the good news. Jesus said, but I am come that they have life and have it and to the full. I want you to get this down to your sanctified soul. Because you're going to have to make a decision. You got to make a decision.
Right.
Change is difficult.
Yes.
I was saying to Pastor Jay when Minister Jan was teaching on the big bear and the small bear. What I think a lot of people won't see, they see the excitement, and we should be excited.
Yes.
But what they don't see is that when God promotes you to something bigger, everything bigger comes along with it.
Well, that's right.
So now you got bigger carpets to vacuum.
Well,
Now you got bigger bathrooms to take care of. You got 5 bathrooms there now too.
yeah.
Now you got bigger yards to take care of, bigger light bill. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, when God promotes you, obviously He is saying, now wait a minute now, I watch you. So since you've been faithful with
You.
now I'm going to make you master of much. So with promotion comes much. But you see, let me tell you something. When you go on a different level, you got different devils to deal with.
That's right.
So maybe the devils you didn't deal with here, you got bigger devils to deal with over there.
Yeah.
So you got to pray harder. Does that make sense? So finally, I want to say this to you. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life is in the power of the tongue. So here's what I want to say. Get this in your sanctified soul. When you choose to walk in the good news, you choose what you say. When you choose to walk in the bad news, you choose what you say. Do you know a house divided against itself can stand? Do you know that there are people married, fighting in their own house, tearing their own house down? You know the devil don't fight against each other. They fight with each other against us. Humans, the only ones who fight against each other. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're probably fighting against the enemy.
That's right.
We don't fight against each other. Does that make sense? See, when you're fighting against each other, you ain't walking in good news. You're walking in bad news. How far you going to get fighting with each other? What is going on here? What's wrong with this picture? Another story that had a man flying on the airplane. He tells this story, said that the pilot came on and said, ladies and gentlemen, said, I got something I need to talk to you about. Now calm down. But I got to tell you this. So, all right, are you ready? He said, okay. I got some good news and some bad news. He says, now the bad news is that we've been flying 5 hours the wrong way. He said, but the good news is that we're making pretty good time. Some people have been going the wrong way for a long time.
Yeah.
And they've been making pretty good time. Are you walking in the good news or the bad news? The bad news is what the world tells you.
That's right.
That it's okay to go off on your wife or your husband. It's not.
That's right.
The world tells you it's okay to do what you feel. If it feels good till you do it, it's not. The world tells you don't have to pay your tithes. It's lying to you. You should. The world tells you you ain't got to be kind to people. It's lying to you. You should. The world will tell you you don't have to pray every day. It's lying to you. You should.
Right.
And often. Does that make sense?
Amen.
Amen. See, if you're going to walk in the bad news, you're walking in darkness. You're walking blind. And eventually you're going to run into something.
That's right.
And it could be very damaging or devastating to you. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, when you choose to walk in the good news, now you're walking in the light. Where you can see now where you're going. Does that make sense? Then you can say, you know what, something told me. I don't know how many times someone said something to me. I said, it's the Spirit of God. I didn't heed it. I said, I left my keys. Something told me to look on and get my keys. Man, I done got in this accident. Something told me to make a left turn down there on 86th Street. What was I thinking? You see what I'm saying? But you see, as long as I'm walking in the good news, I'm walking in the gospel. I'm walking in the truth. I'm walking in the word. Choose today if you're going to walk in the good news or the bad news. The bad news is walking with the enemy. The good news is walking with Jesus. Give God a hand clap of praise. Amen. 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 Today is a special day, and I wanted to kind of not go on and belabor the point, but I want to give you an opportunity because I want to say something to you. I just sense in my spirit sometime that the enemy has called into somebody's house. We can't sugarcoat this, man. I don't like to, I don't sugarcoat messages. Some pastors and preachers and teachers do. I don't. I tell you just like it is. Because I want you to be strong enough to deal with what you got to deal with. I'm not going to play with you. You're dealing with the devil out there and his kind. And he's not coming to play with you. He's coming to steal, kill, and destroy. He hates you. He hates me. He hates God. Does that make sense? And so you see, the fact that we're moving, listen at me, if God is blessing this house, he's blessing this house.
Yes.
So if you're not being blessed, something is wrong. Because the blessing don't come down just on me. The blessing come down on us.
That's right.
Does that make sense? Okay, so if God is blessing me, he is. He's blessing Dr. David, he is. He's blessing the leadership, it's coming down, it's coming down. A lot of the members are getting blessed. But if you're not getting blessed, if you're still got situations and problems that you cannot handle in your house, something is wrong. Something is wrong. If you still got sickness in your body and you still God hadn't healed me, no. God is a healer. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. God don't lie. If you're still having money problems, something is wrong. God don't lie. God don't lie. So what I like to do, I wish I had the time to just have you to just be honest and say, I'm dealing with this. Let's put it out. Let's put it out. When I was dealing with money because I was stingy, I wasn't giving nothing. I didn't understand then. See, I thought I could just give me some tomatoes and don't plant none. I was just a thief. And I was ignorant. And I was stealing from somebody else's garden. That's like going to a restaurant, sitting down eating and getting up walking out. Are you serious? Let me tell y'all something. Nothing from nothing.
Leaves nothing.
You got to have something if you're going to be a kingdom child. Does that make sense? So let's deal with it. Let's deal with the big elephant in the room. If you got money problem, it ain't nothing wrong with the money. The money ain't got no thinking. Money ain't got no heart.
Right.
Money ain't walking nowhere. If you got a money problem, you got a person problem. You the problem. You doing something with your money. You mismanaging. You doing something with it wrong. Does that make sense?
Amen.
Amen. Because the Bible says the love of money is the root. Now we'll have to talk about that down the road. If you got a problem with your sickness, you can't ever get sick. What's wrong? Jesus said, by his stripes we are
Healed and made whole.
So if you're not being healed and made whole, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Now let me move to another area because we're going to talk on that. We're getting ready to move. And I've had some of y'all text me. Text me. I don't want to move, Pastor. Are you smart? Go ahead and pay the $2,100 rent here then.
Yeah.
We're moving, man. I don't mean that negatively. I'm just saying, come on, y'all, use some common sense. Hey, God, you cannot grow a big fish in a small fish bowl.
That's right.
You got 60, 70 children here. That new church got 250 places we can sit. Am I missing something? God is moving us.
Yes.
But as he's moving us, he's moving you. And he's moving me.
Yes.
And the blessing is on us. But the blessing falls in every area. So if you're saying to me that I got money problem, we need to talk. Maybe put a plan together. Because it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. Does that make sense? If you got a money problem, if you got too much going out or you ain't got enough coming in. And sometimes it's a husband and wife problem. Can't have two heads, that's a monster. So if you got some problems going on, I don't even know why I'm going here, but if you got some problems going on in your house, you don't open a portal somewhere and you don't let that enemy get in there.
Yeah.
You done got something. You don't open a portal and that devil done got in there. Do you understand me? You got to get him out.
Amen.
You got to get him out. You understand? No, you can't stay up in here. Does that make sense? Me and my husband ain't going to be arguing together.
Amen.
Why is the husband
Amen.
fighting together? What are we talking about? That ain't going to happen out up in here. You understand? No son, no man. That ain't going to happen. You understand? And see, let me tell you, when the enemy comes in, Jesus said when the enemy comes in like a flood, he said he'll raise a standard against him in your behalf. But if he keep coming in, Jesus raised the standard, what's going on? You letting him in.
That's right.
You're letting them in because you choose to live in the area of bad news. You're talking crazy and you're acting crazy. I'm going to just tell you like it is. When Jesus talked to people, Jesus said, you know, y'all acting like y'all daddy. Your daddy is the devil.
Yeah.
You're acting like who y'all following. You're acting like who you listening to. Don't come to me talking crazy about you ain't got no money. You ain't got. He said, don't be crying. Why are you crying to me? Didn't I say I'll supply all your needs? Well, if your needs ain't being supplied, then maybe you don't belong to me. Maybe you belong to somebody else. Because I'm the one that supply your needs. So if I'm not supplying your needs, then maybe you ain't mine. Does that make sense? Amen. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Glory be to God. Is he good?
All the time.
Amen. God is good. I love y'all. Thank
Love
you.
you too, Pastor.
Yeah, we get ready. I want the whole family to go with us. We're going to go. All
We
right?
going.
Come
We
go.
going.
We're going to go. All right?
Oh, yeah.
Amen. All right. Yeah. Now come on up, Pastor Jay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I got to bring Pastor in on this, you know. I just want to take just a few minutes. And if somebody has some concern, they can put it out.
So I know some people ask some questions about the move, and so we don't want to be here all night though. So, but we give you opportunity because next week we'll be there, so you can still ask questions. Also, so you don't have to give all your questions. We try to just keep it to a few people